Okay, this is my sewing machine. I've always used Bernina sewing machines, so I can't speak for other brands, but I've found them to be reliable and smooth to use, not noisy. They are probably reasonably expensive, but they will last you a lifetime. I've had this one 10 years and it hasn't missed a beat. I have heard that Janomis are reasonably good. There's quite a few quilters that use Janomis, and they are noisier, but they do come with a extension table for the machine. This one here is set into a little table called a Sew Easy table, and it's just a little table that you it sits in the bed of the machine, is level with kind of a good ergonomic position to sit. Okay, if you don't want to get a special table for your machine, it's definitely helpful to get one of these. They're called extension tables, which your machine fits into here, and you've got this whole work surface here to work on. It just stops dragging things on your fabric, and because piecing is particularly precise, so you need something like this that can fit. It's acrylic and it fits into your machine. Now we'll move on to feet for your sewing machine. If you're going to be doing machine quilting, which is the stitching that holds your sandwich together, you definitely need what is called a darning foot, and that is one like this. It's got a little spring on it here, and this is another one. Most machines come with them in, and it allows you to drop what is called the feed dogs, and you can freely move your fabric under your needle. So you definitely need one of these for that. No matter what type of patchwork, whether you're doing piecing, applique, you need a 1/4 inch foot. 1/4 inch foot is a definite. You can't do without it. Some, I know Bernina brings out a 1/4 inch foot with a little metal bar on it, which is like a 1/4 inch guide. Some people find that invaluable. It just depends on what you start and what you get used to. And then if you can, if your machine doesn't have what they call differential feed, you need a walking foot, which is what this is a walking foot, and it feeds the fabric through evenly, bottom and top. What happens is when you're sewing normally, the bottom fabric moves through at a slightly different rate to the top of the fabric. This here moves it all through at the same rate, so you get nice even, especially when you're not so much when you're piecing, but when you've got your 3 layers, your quilt sandwich, you probably need a walking foot if you're not free motion quilting. When you're looking at what sewing machine you want to purchase, get one that has the blanket stitch on it, which is this one here around the edge of the applique. It's like a hand blanket stitch. If you've got that on your machine, it makes applique so much quicker. There are other stitches you can use, like this one here is satin stitched around the edges, but that's so tedious and it uses a lot of thread. So if you can get a machine with the blanket stitch on it, it's helpful for your applique. I want to talk a little bit about needles. I use Bernina needles. Use Bernina or Smets needles. Don't use universal. They're not as good. The Smets needles and the Bernina needles are fantastic. And if you are piecing, I use a Microtex needle. And if you're quilting, which is going through all your layers, you use a quilting needle. Don't believe any shops that tell you there's no difference. There is, I know, and a lot of people that who are my quilting friends also say the same.